Hi everybody. Sorry, it's been a couple months since I've done my last web review. As you can see, things have changed. We're moving the cave, the Batman cave, to a new location. So just been dealing with that. Been dealing with a lot of work stuff, wedding stuff going on too for me. So no, but now I'm making some time, and hopefully I can catch up with you guys on some highlights and some stuff that's been happening in the geek world. So again, this is just the highlights. A lot has happened since last time I review my last web review. So I'm just gonna kind of just do the highlights of stuff that I've found interesting. Okay, so we'll do our first topic of the new Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man: Homecoming. I have seen it. I've actually seen it twice, and hands down, I have to say it's the best Spider-Man movie that has come out. Spider-Man 2 with Sam Raimi was still a great Spider-Man movie, but this I feel is really, really in tune with the Spider-Man comics and what the character stands for. And I'm just gonna give like a short review of the movie. Again, it's great. Really in line with the comics, with the character in the comics. He's a kid, in high school, and he's gonna stay in high school for at least a couple more sequels, which is great because that's what Spider-Man is. He's a kid in high school. Um, the Michael Keaton as a Vulture, brilliant. This brilliant tension scene between them in the car. I'm not gonna try to spoil it too much for you guys, so I'll just might spoil a little bit here and there. But again, great movie. They changed it. Took a big risk of changing a little bit of the characters and plot wise and stuff like that, and making the not really like a true like Spider-Man origin, because everyone knows Spider-Man's origin, and more kind of starting off with just like his like superhero, like him becoming a hero almost origin. Again, great movie. Really looking forward to him appearing in Spider-Man appearing in Avengers Infinity Wars and the upcoming Spider-Man sequel. So again, if you haven't caught it, please take a look, before it's gone in theaters. Totally worth, like the buy, when it comes out on Blu-ray DVD. So in my opinion, worth it. All right, now we're gonna move on to the Defenders. Who Netflix series just came out a couple of days ago. I've only been into two episodes, so I really can't give like a full review on it. But so far, so good. I think it's really cool. Haven't watched any of Iron Fist because I'm hearing horrible reviews on it. So a little lost when it comes to his background, but otherwise, I feel the show is on a good path so far. So we'll on my next web review, hopefully I'll finish the whole season and cut back with you guys on that. All right, and finally, I'm sorry, not finally. On our next topic is the War for Planet of the Apes. My God, what a heart wrenching movie! The director, and the filmmakers, the other filmmakers behind, this reboot of the Planet of the Apes movies are just dominating it. It's literally like it was so heart wrenching. And spoilers for you guys on the movie. There's a scene where Caesar, the main character's family, gets killed, and it's just him and his young son that are left, and like his tribe, and it's basically Caesar kind of like out for revenge, and at the end of the movie, finding like redemption in himself, and a little bit in humanity, and but it's just my God, Andy Serkis as Caesar, like just kills it. Like this guy deserves a freaking Oscar. So I couldn't highly recommend paying your money to see War Planet of the Apes. Truly remarkable, truly amazing, and totally worth your time. All right, now to other news, geek news. With the release of kind of like the model for Star Wars, Galaxy's Edge, looks amazing. It really does. I mean, like my inner Star Wars like fandom is like, yes, finally. Like every dream I had as a kid of like them being like a Star Wars land. It's just like, oh my God, like it's just gonna be amazing. Of course, all my money's gonna be going into it. Probably gonna be broke by the end of the day. But by by the end of the trip, of going to see this amazing theme park. But man, what a lifetime experience, and I'm hoping like I'll go there like many times with me and my children, and for them to experience it, and then for me to experience it with them. And the fact that it's kind of like this immersed world with like real actors, and like and all like like pertain to like how well you do on this one ride, this a replica of the Millennium Falcon, and like it's like you actually controlling it, of course, like whether it be VR or whatever. They haven't really given details about that yet, but by the end of the ride, after you get off, like and back into the this like Galaxy's Edge theme park, Star Wars theme park, whenever you go to a cantina or something like that, no, they'll know if you did really good, so they'll give you high praises, or if they know you did really bad, then they'll like give you like hey, like better luck next time type of like low like remarks and stuff like that. But this completely like immersed like environment, which, oh god, like I'm gonna love doing it. I just hope that it doesn't get so crowded where I'm not gonna be able to enjoy it. But the next cool thing about this is they're also adding a hotel, a Star Wars hotel, and that's gonna be really cool too, because I guess like the hotel itself is also gonna be immersed in its own like little missions, and the room's gonna be really futuristic, and then like the window's gonna be kind of like a viewport out to into outer space. It's almost like you're like in a space station. So that's gonna be really interesting to see. Not a lot of details have been released about that yet, but I'm hoping more will come out. As it's starts really like ramping up on the build of the park and stuff like that. So so more news for that coming out in the near future. And now we're gonna move on to some comic news and some book review news. Actually, I'd actually heard the audiobook of Star Wars Inferno Squad for the new Battlefront video game, Star Wars Battlefront 2 video game that's gonna be coming out in November. It's kind of like a prequel to that. It's about like how Inferno Squad came to be, and like this like group that you're gonna be actually playing in the video game. So like their backstory and like the first time they're on their mission and stuff like that. I won't get too much I won't be getting too much into the plot and story of it, just because it's the detail and stuff like that. So I'll give kind of like a general summary of it. Basically, Inferno Squad is formed after the destruction of the first Death Star, and this team is assigned to go and infiltrate the last like the remaining group of like Saw Gerrera, which was the character from Star Wars Rogue One. His like rebel faction, there's an extreme faction, so they're in charge of going in there and getting intel and finally dismantling the group. So really good, like very in depth, of the main character and her story, and like her connection with the with the Empire and her loyalty. So highly recommend reading it if you have the time and the chance to do it. And finally, we're going to be moving on to some of the other comics I've been reading. So Darth Vader #1. Basically, it's kind of like it's relaunching the Darth Vader storyline again, except now it's going to be like takes place right after Revenge of the Sith. I've read issue 1, really good, like really good kind of like backstory into like the Sith, and like the origins, the Red's lightsaber and stuff like that. So it's an ongoing series, so I'm gonna definitely be following up with that. Also, that came out is also Cassian and K2SO, characters also from from Star Wars Rogue One, and Cassian and K2SO, basically the first time they've met and stuff like that, and how they met, and and why K2SO is with Cassian. Very good, very funny. I would recommend pick up the first issue. And then also been reading Spider-Man #2, not issue #2, sorry, Spider-Man, like kind of like a sequel to like the first Spider-Man miniseries. So this is a sequel to it, basically about Miles Morales, like kind of discovering who the other version of him in the Marvel, like universe is and stuff like that. So again, I've only read the first issue, and I'm going to be reading the second one soon. And finally, the wrap up of the Dark Knight Return Part 3. for that series, I finally has finished, and it was great. It was really really good, and I would highly recommend checking it out. Reading it. I probably would recommend waiting for it to come out on graphic novel though, because collecting all the single issues and stuff like that. I mean, it's cool. But at the same time, like I felt that each issue was really short. Like they packed a lot in it, but I just felt that like okay, like maybe they didn't need to like make it into 9 issues. Maybe they could have done like six issues. Plus with the little side stories that are added in there as well. So I great read. Would totally recommend reading it, but I would say save your money for the graphic novel, and hopefully, I would even say save it for getting it into softcover. I mean, hardcover. If you like hardcover, then of course they're gonna have gorgeous hardcover book. Like cover for The Dark Knight Returns 3. But I would definitely recommend waiting for the graphic novel. And all right, guys. Well, with that being said, that's the my geek news and reviews. Please comment below. Like let me know what you think. Let me know like your thoughts, or what are the news that you guys have heard that I didn't mention this video. And thank you again for watching this video, and hopefully I'll do a next one real soon. So all right guys, thanks again, have a good night, bye.